But here's the thing the president won't tell you. You don't need medicine to cure COVID-19. You don't need vaccines. All you need to do is imagine.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
No hell below us.
Above us only sky. Imagine all the people
Living for today. Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? It's an incredible group of celebrities of which you know a solid 40% of. But it went viral, which is the cure for all viruses. How do we stop SARS? Hashtags. How do we stop MERS? TikTok videos. But you didn't know that. Performing in the video, you had Wonder Woman, the other Wonder Woman, the lady selling the purses in the conference room on The Office. You had the woman who ruined Star Wars. You had the daughter of someone who played guitar for a song on the soundtrack of Austin Powers' The Spy Who Shagged Me. I had a lady who is brave enough to be a model despite only having one eye. And a woman who had a really woke understanding of blackface. Can't wait until Sarah Silverman starts running Virginia or Canada. And finally, there's the guy who played the Detective Malloy, I'm sure you'd remember, of course, in the movie that ruined Meg Ryan's career. Though, to be fair, you might know him as the one thing in the Avengers that people don't like. These are supposedly A-listers, but most of them are best known for being A-holes. They keep getting hired just because their directors know their jobs aren't in jeopardy. You'd think they know how to set up a decent-looking camera shot by now. I mean, this is not, it's not even well lit. And don't forget Hollywood. This, of course, isn't live. If you don't hit all the notes, you could just record it again.
above us only sky.
I'm sure, really, the guy can sing, but he almost seemed to apologize with his face on the last note. One thing is for sure, the other, other than the fact that this Instagram video will solve the COVID-19 crisis. Well, and of course that Sarah Silverman wears blackface. There's one thing for sure. The song Imagine just sucks. Can we be honest about it for once? This is supposed to be some inspirational song that starts out, imagine there's no heaven, it's easy if you try, no hell below us, above us, only sky. Translation, there's no right or wrong, and there's nothing bigger to be living for, it's just us, a bunch of evolved apes walking around, eating, drinking, peeing, pooping, and dying, after you catch the coronavirus, of course. What a glorious inspiration. I do have to admit that the line, imagine all the people living for today, that fits pretty well. It's all people living for today instead of planning for tomorrow and the completely predictable global pandemic that has all you guys quarantined in the first place. You also have to love the millionaire celebrities preaching to us, imagine no possessions, I wonder if you can. Yeah, really not having a bunch of nice stuff is pretty easy for most of us to imagine. I know it's shocking. I guess for them, no possessions is particularly terrifying because how else are you going to fill the 12,000 empty square feet? Think of how much your voice would echo down the corridors of your walk-in closet. Closet, closet, closet. Or in Gal Gadot's case, closet/kitchen, which apparently is fully staffed. Wow. Or how about Natalie Portman's 10-acre, $6.5 million Montecito estate? Or, if you're currently in the market, that dude from the weird S&M movie that women really liked because they apparently want to be pursued sexually by their boss, he's moving away to Hollywood too, I assume with some place with, maybe with some less restrictive sex torture laws. Don't worry, his place is only slightly over $3 million. And apparently Wonder Woman royalties from the 70s are pretty solid as Linda Carter spends her time in a quaint 20,000 square foot mansion. I wonder where the invisible plane is parked. Obviously, I'm kidding. I can't tell because the plane is invisible. I suppose I could be more charitable here. Let me think about that. Yeah, I suppose I could be more charitable here. I guess I could take this for what it is. A really crappy song, mostly written by the lady that destroyed the Beatles, being sung by a bunch of well-meaning celebrities in the middle of an unthinkable situation. Maybe they don't have a way to solve all the world's problems themselves, and they're just trying to do the best with what they can and what they have. Maybe Sarah Silverman should have been singing in blackface. But if I took lessons from Mark Ruffalo, I don't think I'd be so charitable. He's one of the well-known celebrities that take to Twitter after every tragic shooting to downplay anyone who sends thoughts and prayers to the victims. Here he is after the Brussels shooting. Our thoughts and prayers aren't enough for what happened in Brussels today. Remember that these acts are meant to divide us. We can't let them. Little known fact, the Brussels shooting is the fault of the Second Amendment and the NRA. Think about it. He also tweeted this gem. Prayers without a coordinated action are silent lies told to oneself, heard by no God, amounting to nothing. Action is the language of truth, the prayers of the saints. Ugh, can you imagine ladies, can you imagine going on a date with that guy? Wouldn't that be fun? Now, this is always confusing to celebrities. You see, you can pray for someone and take appropriate legislative or cultural action to try to help. They're not mutually exclusive. You just don't like the fact that some people disagree with your solutions. But beyond that, if you're religious, praying isn't some empty gesture to a non-existent super being in the sky used to avoid responsibility. It's the most heartfelt and important thing a Christian can do in that situation. Whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. They do. And their intent is to try and be helpful and calming and full of grace. I might think your stupid song, sung by your stupid friends, is completely stupid. I might note privately that the reason you have to imagine all of those things is that they're all imaginary. But I can still recognize that you're trying to be a calming influence in a difficult time. I can recognize that your intent is good, even if your song choice is not. So what is the one thing you should have seared into your memory from all of this? What's the one thing you should never forget? Sarah Silverman in blackface. That's about it. Remember, Sarah Silverman in blackface.